What's up, YouTube? It's about that time of the year that WWE presents one of its biggest ever pay-per-views, Survivor Series.
Slide on no bed, now I'm feeling like Venom. I told her kick it, back him, squeezing a Mac, lemons. Walk down, boy, got him booking a reverend. Oh, girl, miss me, she jealous. 762 flying out of the Lexus. Bourbon at dinner, he going by breakfast. That boy shooting for big taxes,
Being a part of one of the big 4 pay-per-views, or maybe big 5 now, because I think they're considering Money Bank one of them, Survivor Series has become one of the most notable pay-per-views in WWE history due to the amount of shock moments, like recently only a few years ago when Goldberg defeated Brock Lesnar only a few seconds, or for its traditional Survivor Series tag team elimination matches. Now, for the past couple years, Survivor Series had the theme of Raw versus SmackDown, Raw champions versus SmackDown champions, Team Raw versus Team SmackDown, but because of the recent Super Showdown, the upcoming Evolution pay-per-view, and also the upcoming Crown Jewel pay-per-view, there's been no talk on television or behind stage about really any type of Survivor Series plan so far. So with that, I want to give you guys 10 WWE Survivor Series matches we need to see. Number 10, Roman Reigns versus John Cena for the Universal Championship. Trust me, number 10 is the only one that's really fantasy based, but also it is a match that isn't that far of a possibility from not actually happening. John Cena essentially now has become the JBL looking part-timer, where now it looks like he only shows up to really big events, and Survivor Series being one of the big 4 or big 5 now. There's a good chance we will see John Cena a part of this pay-per-view somehow, some way, if he's part of Survivor Series Elimination Tag Team match, or if he's actually wrestling for a championship. There is already history between John Cena and Roman Reigns having their match from last year's No Mercy pay-per-view, and if you want to have a really big main event or a really big Universal Championship match, and prove why Roman Reigns deserves to be Universal Champion, why he's the best Universal Champion, whatever label you want to put on him, for him to defeat the biggest superstar in WWE right now for the second time would elevate Roman Reigns, at least for the company's reasons, maybe not ours, but at least for their eyes it would. Also, there is a good story of John Cena never being Universal Champion, never wanting to go after the title, but now he wants to go after it, and him winning that Universal Championship would actually break Ric Flair's record of world titles, at least for WWE's record of world titles, because he's won way more than just 16. I know this is a really fantasy-based match, but if you think about it, just think about it, it would be pretty good. Number 9, Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose for the Intercontinental Championship. Now again, there has been no teasing that this pay-per-view will be Raw versus SmackDown, so having matches that are Raw versus SmackDown based actually is a possibility. Now, ever since The Shield rejoined earlier this year, a lot of the focus of the Intercontinental Championship, which had a lot of steam going for itself, was essentially put on the back burner when Seth Rollins rejoined The Shield. And with the storyline going on right now of The Shield not really wanting Dean Ambrose, or Drew McIntyre, Dolph Ziggler getting the mind of Dean Ambrose, and we saw almost a mini teaser Super Showdown of Dean Ambrose possibly turning on Seth and Roman. And on Raw, Dean Ambrose has talked about being Intercontinental Champion. There's still a lot of time between now and Survivor Series that Ambrose still could turn on the Shield. Even if he's going to be turning on anyone in particular that's in the Shield, it's most likely going to be Seth Rollins. Obviously, Rollins was the guy that broke up the Shield in 2014. For Ambrose to be the guy that breaks up the Shield in 2018 would only be a little bit of a full circle. These two had a really good feud back in 2014 as well, so for them to fight for the Intercontinental Championship, well, for one, would be some really good storytelling, and in general, just a really good match, because these guys can go in the ring. And this could be the match that rejuvenates the, the feeling, the workhorse mentality of the Intercontinental Championship. Number 8, Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship in a 3 stages of hell match. It's safe to say in 2018 that Becky versus Charlotte might be one of the best main roster feuds in WWE. Of course, all the credit for this feud honestly really should be put on the part of Becky Lynch. Ever since her heel turn, even though she's not really heel, but also she is a heel, she's absolutely been killing it in everything she's done so far, when it comes to backstage segments, her on the mic, her in-ring wrestling, which was always amazing to begin with. In match with the right person who also puts on great matches, being Charlotte, these two women have put together a really good storyline that the fans are actually really interested in. And it's safe to say that they'll probably face each other again at Evolution. That could definitely end with Becky Lynch still retaining the title. Maybe that's the end of the feud. But neither one of these women will be at Crown Jewel, because Saudi Arabia has this thing with not bringing women to the country, and yeah, it's a whole set of issues in itself. When you have a feud that's this big and it's escalated to a point where you can really tell, like, oh yeah, they're friends outside the ring, but right now in the ring, they really hate each other. It's about time you put a stipulation on this match, and then you really make it into something that people are really gonna remember. It was only a few years ago that Charlotte faced Sasha Banks in the first ever Women's Hell in a Cell match, and from my knowledge, I don't think the women have ever had a 3 stages of hell match, so let's make it happen. This would be the perfect ending for their feud, and it also would showcase how dangerous Becky Lynch can be, and also how in-ring savvy both the women are. You gotta end it at some point, you might as well end it with a banger. So 3 stages of hell, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair. Don't act like you wouldn't want to see that. That would be so good. Number 7, Team Baron Corbin versus Team Kurt Angle. Now this match and another match I'll get into a little bit later are actually rumored to be on this pay-per-view. Now of course the stipulation online would be if Baron Corbin wins, he becomes the general manager of Raw, and if Kurt Angle wins, then he becomes the general manager of Raw, or he remains, or he was fired, so I guess he gets his job back, because why fill out an application or go in for an interview when you can just angle slam someone? I really wish that's how the real world worked. You know how many jobs I could have gotten by now? now. But at the same time, I'm not really gonna go over who would be on whose team. I mean, we can just assume looking at the rosters. Obviously, this definitely would end with Kurt Angle definitely getting the win and me become general manager of Raw once again. And in general, having these matches are just good ways to put everyone on the pay-per-view so everyone gets a moment to shine. This definitely isn't the Kurt Angle return that I'm really trying to see, but if that's what they're gonna give us, I mean, you take what you can get sometimes. And another elimination tag team match, which would most likely be on the kickoff. Number 6, a 205 Live Survivor Series elimination tag team match. Now, we've seen in the past of having lower card guys actually have a Survivor Series tag team match. I believe it was like 2012 or 2013. It was like Brodus Clay and Sweet Tea or Tensai, along with some other people versus like Primo and Epico and some other people. It's a good way to kick off the show. It's gonna be some really good action. Also, it just gives Leo Rush on the pay-per-view 2 times, which I just kind of want to see. So take the top heels from 205 Live versus Alexander, Ali, Kalisto probably. I believe Noam Dar is a face now. And I don't know, like a return in Tajiri. Why not? Number 5, Intercontinental Champion Seth Rollins versus United States Champion Shinsuke Nakamura. Now again, there is a really good chance that this will be another Raw versus SmackDown Survivor Series, where we'll see Raw champions versus SmackDown champions. And in general, who would not want to see Rollins versus Nakamura? Title for title, title versus title, champ versus champ, whatever reason. Who wouldn't want to see Rollins versus Nakamura? It works out perfectly. Nakamura is still a heel, Rollins is still a face. And in general, do I really need to say any more? Can we just sit here and think about the curb stomps and King Shasas and all the amazing stuff these guys will do involving some type of kick? Imagine this. Shinsuke Nakamura, Seth Rollins. I don't even need to say anymore. Just think about how good that could be. Just think about it. Sit there, pause this video for like 10 seconds, think about this match. I know. It would be so good. Enough said. Number 4, AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe versus Daniel Bryan. Now, AJ Styles is defending the WWE Championship against Daniel Bryan at Crown Jewel. Personally, I do see this ending actually with Samoa Joe maybe interfering. I just really can't see AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan really having a legit feud right now. But because this match is already announced for Crown Jewel, it's gonna happen. There's gonna have to be a winner, and I don't think they're just gonna write off Samoa Joe that easily and that quick. So for Joe to cause interference at Crown Jewel possibly and maybe having a triple threat Survivor Series, imagine the hype around this match. But wrestling wise, this would be such an amazing match. All 3 of these guys I'm mentioning are veterans of the independent wrestling scene. You have 2 icons of TNA, and also Joe and Bryan are 2 icons of Ring of Honor. AJ Styles at one point was a pure champion ROH. There's enough history between these 3 guys that you really don't even need to write a script for this. But Daniel Bryan can continue to be the underdog that he is, versus like the psycho killer Samoa Joe, versus a family man who just wants to be champion forever, AJ Styles. Eventually he's gonna have to drop this title, but like in all honesty, we all know he's not dropping this belt until he breaks CM Punk's record. WWE will do anything to make sure that CM Punk does not have this record anymore. And being honest, if anyone's going to break CM Punk's record, would anyone really be mad if AJ Styles did? Like, I would be upset because obviously I love CM Punk and I don't want the record to die. But if AJ Styles holds that record, like, I'm not gonna be upset at all because AJ Styles is amazing. And that's WWE's safe bet of actually having someone that can break that record and he won't get too much backlash from it. But to talk about this match in particular, the triple threat between these 3 men would be something that people will probably talk about from now to the end of time. Number 3, Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch. Now again, going back to the Raw versus SmackDown concept, this would be a match that would happen. Now personally, I really don't want to see this match. While it would be really cool to have armbar versus disarmor, and Becky Lynch would definitely tear into Ronda Rousey like crazy, because Ronda, she's decent on the mic, really good in the ring, but yeah, Becky Lynch would destroy her on the mic. It would be very interesting to see how this judo wrestler Ronda Rousey take on this fighting Irish Becky Lynch. This kind of sounds like Khabib and McGregor. And it would probably end the same way too, because the Irish would end up losing. Because Ronda Rousey definitely is not going to lose to Becky Lynch. It's just not gonna happen, not a possibility. That's mainly why I wouldn't want to see this match, but it has a strong possibility of actually happening. Number 2, Team Miz versus Team Daniel Bryan. Now this is a match I have continued to talk about on YouTube so many times, because this is a Survivor Series elimination tag team match that will set the tone for matches soon to come. Because there's so much beef between these 2 guys, and there's so much talent on this SmackDown Live roster, especially with the recent announcement that Rey Mysterio is actually coming back at SmackDown 1000. He could be on Team Bryan. That this match doesn't happen, it's going to be such an epic disappointment. Top of another superstar, let's just throw in like, I don't know, Rusev, because he should be on this pay-per-view. It's Rusev. Versus Team Miz, which you can have guys like Randy Orton or Cien Almas or Shelton Benjamin and someone else, Aiden English. Nah, I'm just kidding. Team Miz versus Team Bryan needs to happen. Vince, I know you're watching this. Of course you're watching this. Make it happen, please. And number 1, Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker. Super Showdown is definitely setting up a tag team match for Crown Jewel. No doubt in my mind. It's definitely going to set up a match between Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. Literally no doubt in my mind. Personally, I'm not a fan of seeing Shawn Michaels come out of retirement, mainly because his bald head makes me cry. But if he is gonna come out of retirement, him versus The Undertaker, would anyone actually object to this? Would you actually object to seeing seeing this match happen again. Both these guys can still wrestle, they can still go. Shawn Michaels is still in really good shape, and these guys aren't masters at storytelling and driving emotion out of people. I don't know who is. The hype around this match would be so insane that wrestling YouTubers will make a video a day about this match. That match has a possibility of having more hype around it than a Mayweather versus Pacquiao rematch. There is literally not a single match that WWE can promote at all that will have more hype than this match in this year or 3 more years down the line. And Shawn Michaels is willing to actually come out of retirement to face The Undertaker again, and The Undertaker's willing to face Shawn Michaels again, and they're willing to have a really good match, really good segments, really good storylines, and overall drive every emotion out of a person's body. Why would you object to wanting to see this match? This would be great! On a serious note, Shawn Michaels doesn't super glue a hat to his head. I will throw something at the TV. I don't want to see his bald head. Like, why? You had such good hair and you cut it off. Ah! Your head's so shiny. It's so shiny. But yeah, guys, this is a video if you really enjoyed. In the comments down below, which one of these 10 matches did I just say that you actually really want to see at Survivor Series? Maybe I didn't say a match that you want, so what matches do you want to see happen at Survivor Series? But make sure to let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to like, comment, share, and always subscribe. And we outie.
Skins in this world, the fly girls. Tangerella Hennessy until I call Earl. 10 months in this gut, what the f? I wish